Two of the biggest A-list stars around got to take a real nice vacation on the Universal Pictures dime, and then they filmed a movie while they were there too. Let's talk about Ticket to Paradise. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new romantic comedy film, Ticket to Paradise. This stars two of the biggest names out there, George Clooney and Julia Roberts, longtime friends, and they've appeared in at least the Ocean's movies together, or a couple of them. I never saw 13. I think Julia Roberts was in that one. But anyway, longtime friends, and now they get to star opposite each other as a divorced couple who just hates each other and is trying to stop their daughter from making the same mistake that they thought they did 25 years earlier. Before we launch into my review and the specifics of this movie, Ticket to Paradise, I want to welcome you to Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. Tons of movie and TV stuff that you can find on the channel here. And if you are not one of my subscribers, would love to have you aboard there as well. Or if you are, just like, comment on this video. All of those things help the channel out. So I would love to hear from you in those ways. All right, let's talk about this movie. The daughter in question that I mentioned, Kaitlyn Dever, she is on a bit of a hot streak lately with a lot of projects in the works, but most notably, she was Emmy nominated for an incredible role in the TV series Dopesick. Her best friend here, played by Billie Lourd, who is, you know, from Scream Queens, I guess, but most notably, perhaps, as the daughter of Carrie Fisher, granddaughter of Debbie Reynolds, all of that stuff. This is directed by Ole Parker, who is most known for films like this, which are very, very milquetoast and very safe and appeal, I think, mostly to a demographic that I am not in. It's, you know, I would say these movies that he makes are geared mostly towards older people, and I know I'm no spring chicken, but, you know, people older than me. I think primarily women as well, and couples. But this guy wrote the two Exotic Marigold Hotel movies. He wrote and directed the second Mamma Mia movie, which he did from scratch because, of course, the first one came right from the Broadway show, but the second one was just made up from thin air. So he wrote and directed that, and he had the ABBA music, of course, as the backdrop, but that was about it. But, you know, one thing sort of you can sense with all of these movies is locations. He loves to say to the studio, and I don't think they're all Universal. I think, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. I think the best Marigold might be Lionsgate or something. But anyway, he loves apparently saying to these studios, hey, I want to take a vacation and take some hot stars out there and see what we can film. The cast gets a nice vacation, the crew gets a nice vacation, and the audience, if you're me, gets to sort of, you know, mildly chuckle a couple of times and realize, oh my gosh, everyone that was starring in this movie had a blast filming this, and I sure wasn't there. I'm sitting here watching their vacation slides. It made me feel, honestly, a lot like a Sandler, Aniston kind of movie. You know, Sandler sometimes goes to these really great locations. I think the Grown Ups movies are a good indicator of that too. Aniston wasn't in those, but you know, it's or Blended, which I actually kind of like that movie. But him and Drew Barrymore, you know, they go to, I think, Hawaii, and it's like beautiful. You're just like, what has happened? Like, Sandler dupes these studios into paying for his vacations. Like, it's insane. That's the vibe I got from this movie. Here's the thing: this is one of these movies that has a very, very different critical rating and an audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Right now, the critic ratings are in the mid-50s, and the audience rating is like in the high 80s, right? Usually, when that happens, the truth sort of falls somewhere in between. However, I actually think that the 55 or whatever it is, 56, might be too high. I am definitely on the side of the critics with this. But here's the thing with these movies. They have a very specific audience, and I already kind of mentioned, you know, what that audience is. And I am not afraid of a rom-com. I love many of them. There have been actually several this year that I gave pretty decent grades to. But, you know, if you said to me, hey, I liked this movie Ticket to Paradise, I had a good time watching it, it was fun, I wouldn't fault you for that. I would say, okay, cool. You know, I don't think it's a bad movie in that sense, but from a critical standpoint, it isn't very good. For one thing, it's not that funny. I admit I laughed a few times at some of the Clooney, sort of side remarks, whatever. But if I'm going on this, romantic comedy journey with this family, the couple's supposed to hate each other. I want them to actually hate each other a little bit. One of my big problems with the movie is Clooney and Roberts, they're such good friends. And it's sort of an inside joke, with me and some of my friends, that George Clooney always plays George Clooney, right? And sometimes that works great if the part needs it. Sometimes it doesn't. Here, I didn't buy that these guys hated each other, ever. Even in the trailer when they're on the airplane and they see each other and it's just like, oh boy, you again. And it's like, but I could tell from that, I'm like, oh, they're just having a great old time filming this scene. Like, I never bought for a moment that these guys hated each other. And look, obviously it's a romantic comedy. I said no spoilers, but I think you can maybe guess what happens, closer to the end of the movie. So I get it. They're not supposed to hate each other the whole movie, but they could have a little bit towards the beginning, Look, Julia Roberts is great. I think she is, a national treasure. Obviously rom-coms have been her thing for a long time, but my favorite Julia Roberts stuff, and the thing that sort of got me on board with her the most, was in the late 90s when she started also doing some dramatic things like Stepmom and Erin Brockovich, which of course she won the Oscar for. So I like her better sort of in that kind of thing. But look, Notting Hill is great. That's no secret. I think most people like that. My Best Friend's Wedding is great, which this movie has a couple of shades of that movie. But I like her best in more dramatic things anyway. So the rom-com thing, it's fine. I love the Julia Roberts laugh. It's infectious. It's great to see them having a good time. But this movie is just like a snooze. Like the guy that Caitlin Dever is about to marry, he's completely fine. He's charming enough and you believe it and that's fine. But he's not a great actor when he's in like a scene with George Clooney where he's, trying to talk to the kid and say like, oh, I don't want you to marry my daughter, I don't know. I just didn't buy those scenes really. The whole thing, it was just a waste of time for me. And again, but before you crack and say, hey, look, maybe this movie isn't for you. You're not the target audience. I agree. However, I've loved a lot of rom-coms the last few years and in my life. This just did not happen to be one of them. I think all of this guy's movies, this old Parker, I think the highest grade I've given one of his movies is maybe the second Exotic Marigold, got like a C+ or a B- or something. But like the second Mamma Mia was very bad, and I love ABBA, and I love Cher. She was in it momentarily. And the first Exotic Marigold was okay. But this movie just felt like an excuse to get a couple of stars together, write a half-assed script, hope that their chemistry sort of carries it along. And look, for a lot of audiences, it will, and that is awesome. Good for them. It already made its budget back by the time it came to the States because it was released overseas like a month ago. So it's already made over $100 million. So it didn't even really need the U.S. market, but it has it. So it's making money back. The people that are going to see it are enjoying it and loving it, and that is great. I just wanted something a little bit more, something with a little substance, please. So all right, I give Ticket to Paradise. I'll give it a C- because I do think that it was nice to see the Julia Roberts laughing scenes and all of that, and I do think Clooney had a couple of lines. And it's not like god awful. It's so safe and so generic. That I think is the highest I can really give it. So Ticket to Paradise gets a C- for me. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you back here next time on Dan Reviews It. Bye.